Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the realm of infinite frequencies. We like to call it the Riff. This is the Tangent Podcast, the Prelude episode. I'm one half of the hosting crew, Jester D. Wild One, and I would like to introduce the other half of the hosting crew, my brother from another mother, the guy I stole a birth date from, my longtime best friend, Lord B. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man.
You're doing good, man.
Just chilling out here.
Well, welcome to the Tangent. Should we talk about some Teletubbies?
Why not? Let's throw a tangent about it.
Yeah, Teletubby bye-bye. I mean, that sun creeped me out, that's for sure. The crying baby.
Have you seen her now, though?
No.
It's crazy. She looks like a normal person and is not incorrect in proportions.
So the sun grew up. And
the sun grew up and looks all right.
And they're no longer eating tubby custard.
God, I hope not.
Well, there was
Tubby
that
toast?
YouTube video of how Teletubbies went horror. It was like a horror version of Teletubbies. It was really creepy, especially with that sun.
Dude, do you remember playing that Teletubbies game on, oh my God, Newgrounds.com?
Yes.
Remember that site? Oh my God, that was such a good game.
That was so long. Excuse me, so long ago.
You get like La drunk. So funny.
Yeah, we used to play a lot of those games in computer class. That's all we would do.
Mm-hmm. Finish the keyboard thing, go right to a game.
Download Napster every day.
Oh, yeah.
So you can get that one
LimeWire.
song.
It never finished downloading during class. You had to wait.
So me and Lord B have been friends for as long as I can remember. We do share the same birthday. We decided to do this podcast because when we talk, we go into tangents, whether it's me or him.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how I'm on the ground floor and you're on took the elevator to 20 when you were like 10. And you have this amount of knowledge that I'm trying to tap into because there's vibrations everywhere that I am slowly starting to see that you know a lot about. So let's get into some vibrations, crystals, things like that. My question to you is, what age did you start noticing that there was other things that we can't see?
The year, I believe, was 1996 when I first saw something crazy. And that's when I started to open up to other experiences, ideas, and
Other
learn
options.
about different stuff. Yeah. When I don't know, you could say I'm spiritual without a proper belief. It kind of opened it up that way. But there's different, let's say, frequencies, vibrations, kind of why we named our channel this, because that's stuff that we, are going to touch on. But
give it a little tap.
I mean, everything vibrates at a different, frequency. And if you actually look down, all the way down to the molecular structure of anything, if you take your index finger and push it as hard as you can against your thumb, they're not actually touching if you look at them under an electron microscope.
Like an ultra microscope?
Yeah. And it's because the force, the magnetism between them, the force that's holding those atoms together, they never actually touch. So it's just one of those, little ideas of the vibration of everything, because everything is always constantly in motion.
So those little
if
things
you really want to
have their own force field where they don't touch each other.
I wouldn't call it a force field because that brings you into a whole nother realm.
Another realm of infinite fucking frequencies.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get crazy about it, I mean,
let's get crazy.
The molecules the molecules in the door frame near you at any moment of the day those molecules existed at the same time the molecules that are in your body existed. You know, they probably were, you know, together at one point. You know, everything was, you know, very minute.
Very small.
And I'm kind of just going off on a tangent there. But
that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to open up, you know, different ideas, different belief structures, different ways to look at everything, and, you know, become more open
connected
to possibilities. Yeah, you know, that's basically what, you know, I was trying to get at, is everything is connected. Everything is relative to everything else, and it's just one of those things that, you know, when you start learning about it, you never actually feel like you've learned everything you could possibly learn about it, because there's always something else to figure out about all that stuff, which is vague.
It's very vague. Like I started diving into the I Ching and, you know, Tao, I think Tai, is that how you say it?
Tai, yeah.
You know, just for the spiritual end of it, because I'm feeling things in the universe, and like those guys on that documentary Orange Sunshine on Netflix, they were trying to turn on the world. I mean, they were two of the biggest manufacturers of lysergic acid, LSD, and they were trying to give it away for free in the 60s, and they were trying to turn on the world because it allows you to tap into the things that you can't see. Like if we all didn't have noses, like Russell Brand said, would we know that smells were around us? You know? So there's things that we can't tell that are around us because we don't have the sensors for it.
It's kind of like that, like, you know, weird theory that some people have that oxygen in itself is a drug. And, you know, it makes us perceive everything the way everyone perceives it. But if you take a mind-altering substance, LSD, you know, Molly, mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, anything like that, it kind of cancels out, you know, not saying that it's air or oxygen that it is, but it cancels out whatever it is that perceives reality and lets you wake up to
whatever,
you know, you could see the vibrations, you could see colors more vibrantly, things will taste more intense in flavor compared to what it is without it. Yes, you'll hear different frequencies and sounds. Sounds that you know
sounds
are quiet will be more
body.
Vibrant.
They literally can. They like sleeping sounds and stuff. Certain frequencies can definitely help you regenerate muscle tissue, healing, different kind of things.
And the military uses a weapon called the LRAD, which uses a supersonic sound focused on a target, and it could, if you turn it up and hold it there long enough, it'll destroy a body. So I mean, it's
sound can do some pretty
without
amazing
even
stuff.
like. I mean, it all depends on, you know, what frequency too, because each frequency does something different to your brain, your body. You know, there's alpha, beta, theta, gamma, delta, and each one has a different benefit to a different awareness, a different vibration, a different way that your body works. I mean, you don't hear sounds. There's a device in your head that vibrates, that then associates with your brain, that then tells you that you're actually hearing a sound.
Exactly.
That's
a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I was going to tap into
Thank you.
When you take psychedelics, it almost allows you to see the vibrations and such that in normal reality, all those sensors are blocking those things. So like when you hear a sound, you feel it in a really extraordinary way, and it's very hard to describe. I know when okay, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to interject the fact that you said you can feel sound. I mean, it's not just feeling it in your chest, but there's an emotional pull to certain sounds.
Not just those little vibrations in your ear. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
in your soul.
yes. I mean, let's say you're sitting on the couch, you hear your baby cry, you got to panic, and then you go check and it's cooing. Now you're happy, and I mean, it does stuff to your body that's really reacts to your physical well-being.
Agreed. That's why I listen to sleep sounds at night, certain frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily look back on it as, oh, that did regenerate my body, or it did leave me less stressed. I just take it for what it is. I listen to it. I let it do what it's supposed to do. In that belief that this world is so connected with plants and everything give off their own vibrations, and they, there's a video of an above view of the forest and the winds and all the trees are just moving to its own beat. And if you actually take the time and sit there and listen to that beat, or like you were telling me earlier, before the podcast, that you started being able to see things breathe, walls breathe, and you're not on any psychedelics. You've tapped into something that's not a lot of people can tap into. And that's what I'm trying to pull out of you, like Scorpion in Mortal Kombat.
Get over here. But yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, it's not something that you realize overnight, but as you sit there and just kind of vegetate, if you will, and absorb
are you talking
and
about,
relax
meditating, or?
And yes, but more. Not necessarily, because you are looking at stuff, you're enjoying your surroundings, but you're grounding yourself, and grounding is huge. And it's one of those things, because you have an electrical current in your body, and if you don't connect it to something, you could become overstressed because it doesn't release. And that's my belief of it, because when you go outside, let's say, in your backyard, you go out there with your shoes on, you mow the lawn, you do whatever. I mean, that's whatever it is. But if you go out there and you just sit down and you bare feet to the ground, it's a whole nother vibe. You get a whole nother experience of doing that. I mean, some people get a runner's high from running, but if you just ground yourself and de-stress and imagine you're, pushing all your stress through your feet into the ground, dispersing it will leave you so much more relaxed, in my opinion, than anything else you could do.
There's something to say about
grounded your current
nature and how it can heal you just by being connected to it. I remember the first time I did a chakra meditation, and I really put my all into it, because that's what you need to tap into it. And when I was listening to this moderator kind of guide me through it, and he got to the first one in the grounding, and I was sitting outside, and I was just I felt it the whole meditation. I was controlling my chakras in a really weird way that just blew my mind, to be honest. I didn't know I could feel those things and actually control an energy inside me and tell it to do something,
Well, if you want to think about it in another way, think of your body. I mean, you have an electrical current, so think of yourself as a battery. And when you start to get drained and stressed, go out, ground yourself, mentally relax yourself.
Too bad we don't have one of those testers.
Top of your head. Yeah, walk it from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. But then once you disperse it, imagine yourself pulling in clean energy, and you will feel recharged.
Definitely, we're gonna have to do this sometime.
I've done it. I do it. It's amazing.
I know you do. I would love to do it with you.
I'm all for it. I would love to be the moderator in this experience for you, and it's crazy. I mean, how easy it is once you can get your mind in the right mindset.
A lot of people can't
to be able to do that.
Blur out the everyday life, or even see that there are other possibilities.